movies, like, for example, obviously Avengers, Endgame, and Infinity War, and may also add the holiday special, we've got so much more budget view. That must have been such a respite after the sadness and difficulty of the emotions in this. You've got to sort of have fun.
The holiday special was such a breath of fresh air, and just like going completely crazy and just go like full on like weirdo. You know, I was like, am I doing too much? She's like, no, it's a holiday special. I'm like, okay, I'm going to be like Dumb and Dumber in space. Let's do it, you know? And it's so much fun, and I get to play with Kevin Bacon. You would love to come with us.
Hey, where are we going?
And I love like when he let me say that, you know, oh, he's an actor, he's disgusting. And it's just, I love that so much.
We got Quill the worst gift ever. A disgusting actor.
This is the worst day of my life. Because like a lot of actors take themselves so seriously that it's just, I loved saying that. I was like thinking of like all the actors I could think of that take themselves so seriously. I was like, yes! And then I was like, ugh.
Actors repugnant.
I know. Like wanting to puke. I thought it was so funny to shoot.
Your salvation is at hand. Be served. Things are gonna get easier.
I really love the dance-off piece. I thought that was pretty great.
Ooh, child, things will get brighter. Listen to these words.
And I just remember in my head when we were filming that, it was the most expensive set I'd ever been on. Is this massive outdoor set, Long Cross in England.
Bring it down hard.
And there were a few dozen, maybe more extras.
What are you doing?
Dance off, bro. Me and you. All dressed in incredibly complicated makeups that would have taken them hours, and there are flames 20 feet in the air, and it, you know, it was just costing like $20,000 a minute or something like that.
And you're going,
And they're like, all right, now dance. And I was like, I think if I might be blowing this. This whole movie is now I'm the one who's just supposed to do. I don't even know how to dance really. Like I was like, can you give me a choreographer? He's like, no, just dance. I was like, oh god, I forgot the scene was coming up.
Dance off, bro. Me versus you. It's on.
But we made it work, you know? We just went for it. I just went for it. So and so I'm very grateful of it.
News just in, you smashed it. That was good job, good job. I've talked to Karen before about lines that sort of followed you around, and obviously not right.
Oh, yeah. So it's still going strong, by the way.
Well, hello, boys.
Still going strong. Every time you eat any fruit, people will go.
All right. It's not right.
I'm imagining Krabby Puppy.
Yes!
That's a big one for you, right?
The Krabby Puppy's so cute, he makes me wanna die. But also have to like, I don't know what it meant. So I'm like, Krabby Puppy? Is it a puppy that looks like a crab? For me, it's like what I imagined in my head. It was like, Krabby Puppy, cute.
I'm Groot.
Yeah, you said that.
I am Groot. All the time.
All the time.
I am Groot.
I know who you are already.
Same with love, but all the time.
Yes, all the time.
I get that, I get that.
What the hell?
Going way back, Peter Serafinowicz is What a Bunch of A-Holes.
A-holes. What a bunch of a-holes.
Which Peter didn't want to say.
No.
No, he says, should I say assholes? I'm like, no. It's funny he says a-holes. It's just like so ridiculous.
You're in a formal suit.
Yeah.
It makes sense that you're muting yourself slightly.
Yeah.
And there's one in this film, which I hope you don't mind me bringing up, which is Extraordinary Phallus.
Yeah. Yeah, you extraordinary phallus. Oh.
I was like, I'm writing that down. I'll write that.
He's a great guy. You know, he's such a fun guy.
Just a good time. Do you have a memorable bit of direction from James?
I mean, for me, he created my whole character with one single note, which was on my first day filming. I came in, I was doing a generic villain thing, and he was like, let's mix this up, let's try something else. Speak like Marilyn Monroe / Clint Eastwood, try that. And then it created the entire character.
Thanks, Dad. Sounds fair.
The voice, it informed the way I moved.
This is one fight you won't win.
Just start slinking around more.
Let's head to the kiln.
That is a piece of direction that is the best I've ever heard.
Carol, that's it.
That's it.
My mind's blown.
I know.
Oh, he's a bit good, isn't he?
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Yeah, really good.
The one thing I remember is talking to Chris Pratt when he had little baby Groot on him, and to think about his son Jack. And the minute I said that, Chris was looking down and just got these tears in his eyes because he loves Jack so much. And that's about the only direction I ever remember giving. Besides, going up to Chris and going, just don't suck this time. Do it again, but suck less.
What about cracking up? Because I get the impression you guys are a tight family, and you'll find any excuse to make each other laugh. This man seems like the biggest culprit in terms of
All the time.
making other people break.
All the time.
I personally control half the DNA by doing something I call doinking.
Well, here's the one thing. Every time he walks into the set, he's like, "It's showtime." All the time. So you hear this country accent. You see this corn-fed, beautiful boy walking. He's like, "It's showtime." And you could have been having the hardest morning. You woke up at 3. You're going to do 3 hours of makeup. But Chris Pratt just rolled into set. So then all of a sudden, it's infectious. You'll see him as James is establishing what we're gonna be doing in the scene. You'll see his eyeballs moving you just do one. You just always oh, he's cooking up a line or something. And then you'll say something, and it's hilarious.
Showtime, a-holes!
Do you have lines in the movie that you know are yours? Because James has a tight script, but
I think in this, there's at least a few lines that were one of the lines when we were improvising that we improvised in a fun run was Karen's eyes.
Whoever it was that you were in love with, it sounds more like her.
Her? That's ridiculous. Do not bring me into this.
I turned to her and I said, I just never noticed how black they were.
Knock it off! What?
It's usually me improvising and then James improvising behind the monitor what the other character said. So he came up with what Nebula would say, which was, "They were the result of my father torturing me." And I was like, and then I improv. Well, you picked a very pretty set. And I made it in the trailer.
Just never noticed how black your eyes were.
They were replaced by my father as a method of torture.
He picked a pretty set.
you have to one point, I think, as Nebula Karen, carry Chris Pratt.
Too.
How does,
I've been working.
there's no shade to Chris.
Okay, I'll come clean. It's not Chris. It was a mannequin that they made. But it was so lifelike.
It was
The
so
thing had
not- it was
pores,
so
little hairs.
It felt like it was just a dead version
looked
of
like
him,
it was
or a
him.
sleep
Yeah.
version of him, and it had to be locked in a space where no one goes because it could have been used in weird ways,
When she said this before, she described it as dark purposes, which is the
I mean,
funniest thing I've ever heard.
Nefarious deeds.
I mean,
My secret mission
Is to create the perfect society.
He didn't want to make things perfect. He just hated things the way they are.
How long ago did you first have the concept of expanding upon Rocket's backstory and bringing us the sort of body horror, Lovecraftian nightmare that was his childhood, his young existence?
Yeah. Well, the beautiful thing is he did have those things, but he also had this really wonderful group of friends. So to him, part of his childhood was really good.
Someday, I'm gonna make great machines that fly. And me and my friends are gonna go flying together into the forever and beautiful sky. Lila, and Keats, and Flora, and me. Rocket.
Yeah, that was from the beginning. That was from the very beginning. That was the thing that when they talked to me about doing Guardians, and I was like, I don't know, it seemed like Bugs Bunny in the middle of the Avengers. I'm like, this is gonna be goofy. But it was like, okay, if there is a talking raccoon and he is a part of this group, how would he be real? And as soon as that started, then that exploded everything for me. That was what started it all. And I was in the car and I was like, oh God, he's the saddest creature in the entire universe. And that was the story.
We were always searching for a family until we found each other.
Let's give the galaxy something to respect.
I can say I've never quite had a love affair with any character as I have with Rocket. And the hardest thing for me is, moving on from him, because he's the hardest thing for me to say goodbye to, because that's who I've seen this world through.
We have been running our whole lives.
Pete, I'm done running.
Really big question, but I have to ask it. We're at the third movie now. It's the end of an era. Why do you think the Guardians movies have been such a success? I know the simple, quick answer is James Gunn.
James Gunn.
Yeah.
But care you to elaborate?
Yeah, I think he puts so much of himself into every character, and it just sort of really humanizes all of these alien characters that I think everybody can connect to them in some way, and he gives it so much weight and care, every single character, that you're like, these are like fun popcorn movies, but you're also getting like really deeply cathartic emotional experiences.
Yeah, you just care about every character.
Why are you doing this?
I'm crying over a tree. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you remember in the first movie when he says, "We are Groot." I mean, I just, even thinking about it now, I could cry.
Yeah.
We are Groot.
It's just like, and it's a talking tree. What? It's amazing.
I think the music, the needle drop moments of sentimental music is such a huge part
music.
of causing a stir of emotions in people's hearts.
It's not time to make a change. Just relax, take it easy.
Epic vistas, beautiful scenery, color.
We treat the characters real. We are sincere, and I completely love those characters.
And then humor. The humor, the tone.
Humor, my God.
The tone is something special. So the minute you feel moved by the emotional through line of these very human aliens, you get swept by a really hilarious, punchy comment or plucky attitude or something silly like a vomiting baby tree.
What about the end? If we can discuss the fact that this is maybe not a franchise that's going to go on forever, how do you feel?
What? Talk like that.
How do you feel about the idea of James Gunn and guys not necessarily being part of the same gang?
I'm against it.
I'm against it.
It's sad because, it's such a beautiful story. We love our characters and we love, playing together. But
But all things must come to an end.
yeah, it's how James Gunn imagined it. The end of the trilogy. So
Yeah.
we respect that.
Guys, thank you so much for these movies because it's been an adventure.
Oh,
We've been on a real ride and you've made us cry.
thank you so much.
Quite a few times. James, thank you. Thank you for this. Thank you for this film. Thank you.
Thanks, man.